Well, good morning. Hello. Hey, friends, how are you? Happy Thursday. It is, like always, Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Central Time. And my name is Tiffany Huckelman, and I am the founder of Lone Orange, where we help solopreneurs grow their businesses, scale their businesses beyond themselves. And I come here live every Thursday to share little tidbits about what can help, especially solopreneurs, scale their businesses. And we've been, for a couple of weeks actually, we've been talking about systems, and we have some more weeks of systems to go because I have an announcement at the end of this. We'll talk a little bit about some stuff to come up, some resources for you that are going to help you with your systems if that's something that you're interested in growing and developing in your business. And so in the past couple of weeks, we've talked about why you even have systems, for the fact of being more efficient and be able to bring people into your team and to save you your time and stress and headaches and all of that other fun stuff. Systems are so important, but that doesn't make, and they can be simple, but that doesn't mean they're easy. They definitely take time and they take thought, because we as solopreneurs are used to just doing it all ourselves and just doing it what comes into our minds, we just do it. But when it's time to grow the capacity that we have, systems is the way to do that. So I want to talk a little bit about the pure fact of systems overwhelm. Now, a quick story. So 2 years ago, my mom announced that she was taking us all to my family and I to Hawaii. My dad had recently passed, and in honor of him and in honor of what would have been their 50th wedding anniversary, she was going to treat us all and take us to Hawaii, which was awesome. Now there's 10 of us in the family. Everybody, it's me and my 3 brothers, so there's 4 of us siblings, and all of our families were going to go and we're going to have a great time, which was awesome. But she needed our help planning, right? So, okay, no problem. We're all good planners. We all love our spreadsheets. And so we were ready to start planning. But what I realized when I started sitting down and talking about what this trip was going to be, it was overwhelming, because there were so many aspects that were coming up in my mind. You know, the flights and where we were going to stay and when we were going to go and what we were going to do and how was everybody going to be happy, and there was just what we were going to eat and all of the logistics. How are we going to get around? All the logistics were just kind of flooding. I knew all the stuff that needed to happen. I'd planned plenty of vacations before, maybe not necessarily with 10 people, but we knew all the things that needed to happen, but it was kind of overwhelming. And so in the beginning, it was a very slow start, just trying to figure, okay, well, I don't know, when do we go? Where do we stay? Let's take care of the big stuff, right? Let's get the dates narrowed in, and then we'll go from there. So so we started with taking the big rocks out and figuring that out first. We got a travel agent who was super helpful, and we got all that stuff figured out. We got the schedule figured out. We got the flights. We got the lodging. Now we were faced with what are all the things we're going to do. So there's a lot to do in Hawaii, and we all knew that this was probably going to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip for us, so we wanted to take advantage of it. But there were 10 people with 10 preferences and lots of different age ranges, so the idea of trying to find things that everybody wanted to do and that was going to make an amazing trip for all of us was overwhelming, to the point where for a while, at least I shut down. Like, we just didn't do anything because it was kind of like, okay, well, now we got to figure out what to do. But none of us really knew how to get in there and figure out what to do to figure out what to do. We were all talking to friends, we were all watching videos and on blogs, but it was just so overwhelming. We didn't know where to begin. So it finally came down to a couple months before the trip, and it was like, okay, we have to figure this out. And so what we did is we broke it down into chunks. We broke down, okay, these are all the things that we need to figure out. We need to figure out what we want to do. We need to figure out where we're going to eat. We need to figure out how we're going to get around. We need to figure out who's going to do what. And so we just broke it down into chunks. And we recognized what needed to be done first, and we split up the tasks. And then we recognized what needed to be done next, and we split up the tasks. And we all stayed organized, and we had regular meetings. But we broke it down to eliminate the overwhelm. So eventually we were in a good groove, figuring out the things that we could do, figuring out the things that everybody wanted to do, getting things booked and getting it scheduled. And we had an amazing vacation this summer. Everybody got to do fun things. Everybody enjoyed what we did. Nobody was left at the house going, well, this is boring. I'm not doing anything I want to do. Like, we all had at least a good smattering of what we wanted to do, and we had a great trip because of it. So my point behind this story is to recognize that when we face that overwhelm, we've got to break it down into smaller chunks. We've got to kind of organize our thoughts and organize what is overwhelming us and figure out ways to break it down. And the same thing goes with systems. Because I bet that if you've ever had the thought, I think I need to have systems in my business, or you've been told you need to develop systems, you're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Or if you've ever read the book E-Myth and you thought, oh, systems is the way to go, but then you shut down because, oh my gosh, there's so much that happens in my business. What do I do? What do I systematize? How do I systematize it? What do I write down? All the things. It's just so overwhelming. I'm getting a little anxiety just thinking about it. And I do systems for a living. So what are we going to do? We're going to break it down. So if you've ever had that feeling of systems overload, let's break it down. I want to talk about where you're going to start and how we're going to break it down. So this isn't so refined, but hopefully it will work. Let's see if we can avoid the reflections. So in your business, right, there are 8 functions that your business, every single business has. Some of them might be stronger than others, but every single business has these functions, okay, including yours. Now, the top ones are things like, these are internal. That's why the I for internal, and the bottom ones are external. So the top ones are things like team development, financial management, operations and admin, leadership. We're not going to worry about those today. Every business has them. There are levels of what you need to do for your SOPs and for your systems in these sections. The bottom section involves things like marketing, sales, service delivery, client care. That's what the bottom 4 are. So we're going to, right now, to get ourselves focused and to overcome the overwhelm, we are going to, let's see if I can rearrange my lighting and everything. We're gonna take these off for right now. Okay, we're not even gonna worry about the internal ones. Doesn't mean they're not important. We're just getting over the overwhelm. Okay, we're also going to not worry about these 2, team development and client care. Okay, again, not that they're not important. They're very important. But, excuse me, not team development, marketing. We're not going to worry about marketing right now. We're not going to worry about client care right now because, again, they're super important. You've got to be able to market to get people in. You've got to be able to take care of clients to keep them in. But right now, where we're going to focus, just to get over the overwhelm, is on sales and delivery. Okay? So that's what these are. This is sales. And this is delivery. So this is how you're actually delivering to your clients. I don't know where this other reflection is coming from. Anyway, so that's what we're going to focus on today. All right. So that immediately removed 6 things that you don't have to worry about right now. Right now, we're just going to talk about sales and we're just going to talk about delivery. Now, here's the thing. These are very inextricably linked. In fact, all of these things that I just erased are inextricably linked. All of these have to be in your business. But to just get us focused, to be able to let us take care of one thing at a time, we're going to focus on these 2 things. Okay? Now we can look at the sales and delivery and find let's see, I'm just still trying to get this a little organized. And now we're going to break it down even further. All right, so let's get another color pen here just for fun. Now we're going to break these down. Okay, so you know these are external. Now we're going to break these down even further. So let's say in your sales system you get inquiries. Okay, so that is one section. How do you handle those inquiries? How do those inquiries come? Do they come through text or email or your website or from networking or from referral? How do those come? Then we can talk, at least in my business, and this may be different for your business or might be the same, but there's a proposal process, and there is a whole process that goes into that. How do I decide what they need? How am I going to price that? How do I get them a proposal? How do they accept it? So there is a whole process to just creating, submitting, and getting a proposal accepted or negotiated. So that's another component of the sales process. Then the next one that we're going to talk about is onboarding. And this is super important. And why is this important? Because every single company has an onboarding process, whether you know it or not. Every single company has to take their clients from, yes, I'm interested, yes, I'm hiring you, to now how are you going to serve them? Every single company. And so that's what's interesting about this particular one is because every single company has one, this onboarding process is crucial. All right, so now we've broken down the sales function of your business into at least 3 high-level processes. So now you know where you can start focusing your attention. Well, let me outline the inquiry process. Let me outline the proposal process. Let me outline the onboarding process. All right, so that's kind of how that works. Again, we'll go to another color just to make it easy to see. Now let's talk about the delivery process. Oh, that ring light. The delivery process. So delivery, we can break down. This is going to look different for every business a little bit. But at least in my business, I can tell you that we have let's go down here, project planning process, because that's a whole process. How do we get all the information that we need to be able to do the project? Then we actually have the delivery. All right, the actual service that we provide, the graphic design, the logo design, the website design, the copy, all of that. We have processes for each one of those things. And then we have a wrap-up process, because we need to bring closure to that process and make sure we're doing things like delivering all the final files, getting testimonials, whatever we need. There's a wrap-up process for every client. All right, so now you can take a deep breath. We went from 8 functions to focusing on 2 functions. Those 2 functions we broke into 6 different processes that we're going to have to develop. Now, each of these processes can take some time. You know, there's a whole process to creating the process, but at least knowing where to start will help relieve some of the stress and some of the pressure. Now, what I like to suggest, and this is up to my clients, but what I like to suggest is that we start in the delivery process, because it's something you're doing anyway, and generally that's probably someplace where you can start handing things over. You can, but closely behind, if not starting with the sales process, would be next. So so all of these are super important for your business, and if you can start by chipping away at this little by little, these processes will start taking form. All right, so now here is my exciting announcement. Kind of alluded to it last week, but I am going to be hosting the Tackle Your Client Onboarding System Challenge in 2 weeks, starting the week of September 20th. We are going to map out this process for you. So not only will you walk away with a completely mapped out process for onboarding, you'll now understand kind of how the systems development happens. And we'll take you through step by step how to create that system. Now, why do I start with onboarding for this? Because it's something every single business has. We could start with any of these, but all of these might look a little different depending on your business, but every single business has an onboarding system. So I want you to join us, and I want you to bring your friends to tackle your client onboarding system. It's 5 days to a smooth experience for you and your clients. Because how often have you spent hours and hours and hours you've got a new client, you're all excited, but now you have to spend hours doing all of the things to get them ready. The contracts, the deposits, the whatever it is that you need in your business. There's a process. How well do you welcome them into your company? Thank you, telemarketers. Sorry. So, when you get a new client, think about what you have to do. How long does it take you to get a new client? There have been times when of course I want new clients, but sometimes I get overwhelmed when I get a new client because the process wasn't clear. And I did know, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to sit down and rethink everything I've got to do for this client. And I don't know what that's going to look like and how long is it going to take. I don't have that time. Like, that can be an overwhelming, stressful time just to bring on a new client. So let's map that out together. Let's save you a bunch of time. Let's save you a bunch of headache and a bunch of mental load. Get your client process written. All right, friends? So keep an eye out for that. We'll have the registration will be open soon, if not tomorrow, by Monday for sure. But make sure that you come and join us in the Solo Collaborative community. That's where the group will be running. We'll have 5 days. You'll get the lessons delivered to you via email. And then we'll have a daily live kind of Q&A, application lab, that kind of thing, where you'll get to be able to figure out how to apply what I've taught you in the lessons to what you are going to actually doing it in your business. All right, my friends, so I cannot wait. I'm so excited about this challenge, and I really hope you join us and invite your friends. So keep an eye out for the registration, and we'll see you there. Take care, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.